They say things happen in threes. While NASCAR goes three wide, the best BMX high flyers in the world triple up, defying the law of gravity while skying to new heights. 3, 2, 1. The ASA Big Air Triples lifts off now. What's up, BMX fans? Welcome to the 2013 ASA Big Air Triples. We're coming to you from Homestead Miami Speedway in beautiful Miami, Florida. For the first time ever, BMX is pairing with NASCAR here at Championship Weekend. 12 of the top BMX athletes on the planet battle it out for cash and bragging rights at one of the most progressive BMX contests ever. The ASA Big Air Triples is one of the biggest events in the history of BMX, and these riders are certainly stoked to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've been coming to the ASA Triples since they pretty much started, and see it grow from what it was to this, and being here at a NASCAR race here in Florida is pretty amazing. It's crazy. I've heard NASCAR is crazy in the States. You know, I've never come and watched one, but it sounds like it's going to be gnarly, so it's going to be a good time.
A massive venue, like I think it's going to be a treat just to see who comes out to watch, and never had an event outside of NASCAR Stadium or anything really related to NASCAR, so.
It's insane. I never thought it would be at a NASCAR race out of all places.
First time at a NASCAR event ever, so just walk around and get the experience is pretty awesome. And they have the BMX Triples right in the middle, and all the boys just sessioning. It's a good day.
I'm in Miami, Florida. I'm at a NASCAR event. I'm hanging out with all my buddies. Like, what do I have to complain about? Come on, seriously?
You can't really get much better weather than this, and outside the NASCAR finals, so pretty epic spot.
A new platform for a BMX contest. Such a big event with NASCAR, the final race of the year.
I heard that there's supposed to be something going on in that little arena over there. You know, they're gonna do like a little sideshow, cars driving around and stuff. But once they're done with that, I came for the big show. Right here, ASA Triples.
The ASA Big Air Triples ramp is like no other ramp in the world. 2 box jumps, 1 quarter pipe, but they are massive. There's no room for error, only room for air.
When I first saw the setup for the triples, I thought it was awesome. You know, it's basically like just almost a perfect setup, like nice, good sized jumps, nice rolling for speed, and then basically have like 2 jumps and then a quarter pipe afterwards. And I mean, that's like pretty simple, straightforward. You don't have to really choose where you go. You just go forward and it's right there in front of you. And
The first one's a massive jump. It's a big sender. You can do some big tricks on it. It's a very long jump that you can boost high, but the second jump's more the jump where the really progressive and biggest tricks go down, and the quarter is one of the biggest contest quarters in all of BMX, so send it on that one too.
With the triples, they brought together the head-to-head format, which no other real bike contest do, which is really awesome.
So you kind of strategize, you know, you don't want to play too dirty, but you're like, all right, I know he can't do that, and I'm gonna do something totally different than what he does, and then it kind of gets left up to the judges.
I really love the head-to-head format. Very easy for the crowd to understand, easy for us to understand as riders, and I like it.
To win the triples, it's no joke. You got to go all out every go, and since it's head-to-head, you got to. There's no chills, there's no safety runs. You got to do it your hardest tricks every run.
There's 14 riders invited, so everyone's invited here for a reason. I think I could win, but everyone else has a really good chance as well.
14 riders invited, 12 make the finals, but only 1 walks away with that big check. This head-to-head format is unconventional to BMX contest, but it certainly adds to the excitement of this event.
I would say the hardest part about triples is not only who you get matched up against, but if you want to win it, you're going to get matched up against the biggest dudes all the way at the end.
It doesn't really matter who I verse. I'm gonna do my best either way. But Daniel Sandoval or Colton Satterfield is probably a top favorite.
Anytime I go against Nyquist, I turn into a little kid for sure. Ryan Nyquist is out here, and he's a straight OG. Like, I grew up watching him win contests when I was 13, and he's still out here schooling all of us kids. So it's pretty awesome to just get the chance to ride with him. But with him on the side, sometimes Pat Casey, Dan Sandoval, and Logan Martin. Logan Martin's kind of new. He's been riding for a couple of years now, but he's really blown up in the US scene this year. And he has probably the most diverse bag of tricks out of any of us out here. It's his first time riding a triples, so we'll really see what the head-to-head format does for him, but I really hope I don't have to ride against him.
Even a bunch of these young guys, I feel like they're gonna come out and just send their hardest stuff straight away. So I don't even really want to see them before like the semifinals. But if anything, I'd love to get my friends. I'd love to get Danny Josa. I'd love to get AJ Anaya, just so we can joke around up top.
It seems like for the beginning, they're partnering me up with my roommate, Ryan Gutler, and he's been in this industry for a long period of time, and it's always fun to kind of have a contest against your friend.
Yeah, you know, I mean, all these guys out here, I don't really know their names. It's just, you know, guy I'm gonna beat #1, guy I'm gonna beat #2. I mean, that's just the way I look at it, you know? It's just like these guys are here to get beaten by me, so.
Always the comedian, Ryan Nyquist. He will be the first battle that we get to see. Ryan Nyquist versus Zach Warden. As you see, it's a bracket system. The winner advances. The loser tries to fight back in the battle back round. Ryan Nyquist versus Zach Warden. Nyquist will be our first rider. Let's see what the OG Ryan Nyquist has for us. Here we go. No-handed backflip over the first set. 720 over #2 with a 540 over the third set. This is going to be a good battle. Great one to start things off with. Ryan Nyquist, as you see right here, this is called a 720. 2 complete revolutions, a 360 plus a 360 looking over his shoulder, spotting his landing. And here's the young gun, Zach Warden. He has got some new tricks as well. One-handed 360 tabletop, 360 bike flip. Double tail whip out of Zach Warden, a great run for the young gun. We've got the sensei versus the student. Zach Warden's first run was good, but what does Ryan Nyquist have in run #2? It's got a no-handed backflip. Keeping it safe with a 360. Oh, little toothpick. You see him shaking his head there, not what he wanted. But now the thing to keep in mind is all he has to do is impress the judges. There's no scores. It's the best run that counts. Zach Warden giving it run #2. Starting things off with a 360 bike flip. Whoa, there's a new one from Warden right there. That's called a bike flip to Superman seat grab Indian Air. We've never seen that one.
It's the end of the year out here. You know, ASAs is always good for bringing out new tricks, and with this awesome crowd at the NASCAR race, you know, I was feeling the vibe, so I just decided to send something new. The new trick that I did was a bike flip to Superman seat grab Indian Air, and basically as I catch the seat, I just kick an Indian Air real quick. The bike's like flailing around, so sometimes it's a little hard to get a hold of it, but I managed to get it down.
And now it's up to the judges. Who is going to advance? Zach Warden advances, and he sends Ryan Nyquist to the battle back.
I think I got a little lucky on that. I know Nyquist had some stuff up his sleeve that he wanted to do, and he didn't quite do it. So by no means did I actually beat him. I just got the luck of the draw on this one.
Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll check out the rest of round 1 here at the ASA Big Air Triples in Miami, Florida. The ASA Big Air Triples is being brought to you by GoBank, the award-winning new mobile bank account designed to be used on your mobile phone. By Paul Mitchell Professional Salon Products. Paul Mitchell, what's your style? By the DoubleTree by Hilton Miami Airport Convention Center, where the little things mean everything. And by the 2014 Ford Fiesta. Follow the Fiesta movement and join our agents by going to fiestamovement.com. Welcome back to Homestead Miami Speedway for the ASA Big Air Triples. We are dead in the middle of heat #1, and these boys are going bananas. Battle #2, Pat Casey versus Colton Satterfield. Let's see what these guys bring out. Pat Casey came out swinging whips and bar spins. 360 bar spin to double tail whip over the second set. Then Colton Satterfield came with an air traffic controller, but going down in it, Pat Casey will advance. And then one of my favorite riders, Nikolai Rogotkin, 16 years old versus TJ Ellis. Rogotkin throwing down a cash roll. TJ Ellis not going out quietly. Just a dab on this double tail whip was enough to send him packing.
Nikolai, you're the youngest guy here, and you destroyed it in your first run. Walk me through those tricks.
No, I just sent one of my hardest and most fun tricks, cash roll, landed it well, and just sent a chill double whip on the quarter. It worked out. I was super stoked, and stoked for the next round too.
Battle number 4, roommates back in Southern California. Ryan Gutler versus AJ Anaya. Gutler coming out with a super flip can-can flare. But AJ Anaya's got a huge bag of tricks as well. He came out swinging with a Superman seat grab 360, and then this one. Double tail whip on the quarter. Who advances? It's Ryan Gutler advancing.
AJ qualified first, so I was like really expecting AJ to like just destroy it. And in my eyes, like I would have given it to AJ. I thought that run was sick, and so I'll take this one. But in my eyes, AJ just took this one home.
Next battle, number 5, 2 international riders, Italy versus Australia. Alessandro Barbero, 360 triple tail whip, just losing his footing, leaves the door open for Logan Martin. We see it right there, he could not finish the run, so that's a throwaway. Logan Martin came out swinging, big 720, tail whip to tuck. And then this one, 720 bar spin, no brakes on the bike, he will certainly advance. Alessandro goes packing. Battle number 6. Excited about this one. Brian Fox versus Daniel Sandoval. Fox, the local guy from here in Florida. He's got 720s on lock, but Daniel Sandoval, one of the best riders on the planet. Truck to whip, tail whip to tuck no-hander. So dialed at all of his tricks. 360 bar spin to late tail whip. He is a machine, and he will advance. Daniel Sandoval, winner in battle number 6. The stage is set going into round 2. One step closer in this ASA Big Air Triples bracket format. Who is going to come with the big tricks in round 2? Let's find out. Battle number 7, Zach Worden versus Pat Casey. These guys are good friends and teammates on Fox Racing. Let's see what they've got.
Going against Zach, Zach has 2 tricks that nobody else in the world can do.
Let's see what Worden's got. Starting things off, 360 bike flip. And then a backflip bike flip, the only guy in the world that can do that trick. Double tail whip, staying on the bike. Enormous run for Zach Worden. Wow. Check this one out. It is a backflip bike flip. Flipping the bicycle vertically while in the middle of a backflip. Keeps the feet on. Pat Casey's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, man, Pat Casey and me, we always end up getting put up against each other, and it's always hit or miss because Pat has such unique tricks, and he's so incredibly consistent that going up against him, I know I have to try my hardest stuff, and for me, it's more of a crapshoot. For him, he just does things.
Tail whip to bar spin on the last hit, but Pat did not have the run that he wanted. First trick was good, as we see right here. This is called a truck driver to late tail whip, but then over run number 2, he did not land the way he wanted to. Here's run number 2 for Worden. 360 bike flip, no problem there. Another look at the backflip bike flip, and he loses it going out the back door. Thankfully, he's okay. This is called looping out. Landed a little bit back end heavy, kicks the bike, when in doubt, bail out. Thankfully, Zach's okay. Run number 2 for Pat Casey. Backflip bar spin to tuck no-hander. Truck to double whip. Wow, tail whip to bar spin. This is gonna be a great one. Judges have the hardest job here. Zach Worden had an amazing first run. Pat Casey had an amazing second run. Now it's all up to the judges. What are they gonna think? Will it be Pat Casey or will it be Zach Worden? It will be Zach Worden advancing one step closer to that podium. Fat Tony's on the sidelines with Zach. Let's see what he's got to say.
Knowing that you have a tough battle in the next round, are you going to switch up your game plan?
I would like to clean it up a little bit. You know, the bike flip, I'm landing a little sketchy. If I can maybe tweak that, land a little smoother, get a little bit more height on the quarter pipe, maybe do something new there. But really doing the 3 bike flip into the flip bike flip's been a dream of me since I've been coming to these. So just getting that down means the world to me.
Don't go anywhere. We've seen some brand new tricks come to the BMX world today, and I have a feeling we're gonna see a lot more. 11 of the best riders still yet to ride. Don't go anywhere. Lots more BMX action coming up next. Welcome back to the ASA Big Air Triples. We are coming to you from Homestead Miami Speedway in beautiful Miami, Florida. A big thanks to GoBank, one of the sponsors that made this event possible. Had some awesome games, met a lot of really cool people, and they left with some really cool stuff. This week's Trictionary is sponsored by EB Hotel Miami, a brand new 4-star luxury property exquisitely tailored to comfort, inspire, and make your stay in Miami as pleasurable as possible.
What's going on? I'm Ryan Nyquist, and in today's Trictionary, we're going to be doing something called the Nothing. Basically, nothing is where you take everything off the bike. No hands, no feet, floating through the air, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, I always do feet off first. So you take your feet off, split second before you start taking your hands off, and hopefully everything stays with you. The key part is you want to make sure the bike doesn't fall away from you or get up too high. So I always tell people is I give like a tiny little tug up on the bars, just like a little baby tug, and that keeps that bike floating with you on the way up. So let me show you how it's done. Everything is on the way up. You're not doing it on the way down because then it's just too late. So on the way up, you're floating up. You want to be taking your feet, then your hands off. Everything's off before you get to the peak of your air. So just remember that when you're trying it, because if you wait too long, I mean, disaster could happen. So definitely on the way up. There you have it, it's nothing.
Big thanks to EB Hotel Miami for that Trictionary tip with Ryan Nyquist. Now you all know how to do a nothing. And now we're ready to get into Battle 8. Nikolai Rogotkin versus Ryan Gutler. 16 years old. This kid is the future of BMX. Let's see what he brings to the table. Starting things off with a front flip tuck no-hander. Oh, there's that casserole. Triple tail whip. Incredible run for the 16-year-old. The crowd here loving Nikolai Rogotkin. That's called a casserole. It's a 180 backflip and then another 180. Up next, Ryan Gutler.
Ryan is a guy that I looked up to for so long. I watched him win all the Dew Tours back when I was dreaming about being there, dreaming about riding against him.
All right, here comes the Ryan Gutler show. Let's see what Gutler's bringing to the table. Backflip over the first set. Backflip, can, 1-footer, and then a tabletop.
He said he was gonna chill in the first run, and so I kind of sent it in the first run, and then he did too. He told me up there to send it. I went first again. He told me he might throw a double backflip, and then I was like, if he throws a double back, I'm gonna have to do something that'll match that or be bigger.
Here we go. Dan Saylor front flip over the first set. Quadruple tail whip.
Oh my gosh! That was a 4 tail whip! Quadruple tail whip! I cannot believe we've seen that.
Ryan Gutler showing his appreciation of a very difficult trick, but now all eyes are on him. Nikolai throwing a quadruple tail whip, the frame spinning around 4 times and putting the pressure on Ryan Gutler for run number 2.
Yeah, I mean, tail whips have been one of my favorite tricks since I learned them when I was 9, and I've been working at the quad whip for so long. I've done them on some massive dirt jumps where I had time for them, and I was thinking at the top of the roll and had to squeeze in 4 whips into this smaller jump than I've usually done them on, and worked out. And I was rolling up right as soon as I landed rolling up to the quarter. I was in disbelief.
Gutler's got some big tricks as well. Let's see what he unleashes here. Double whip over the first jump. Double tail whip over the second jump. I believe Gutler is conceding. He did 4 tail whips in 2 jumps, and Nikolai did 4 in 1. I think we know who's going to advance. Nikolai Rogotkin, yes, he does advance. Nikolai Rogotkin takes the win, and all it took was 4 tail whips. They look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 times around.
Nikolai, quadruple tail whip.
So stoked on it. First one I've pulled ever on wood. I just was thinking about it so much, and it's a perfect jump for it, and I got him around as soon as I landed on the pedals. I was in disbelief, and I so stoked on that.
Awesome, man. Good job, and good luck in the next round.
Thanks so much.
All right, battle number 9, Logan Martin versus Daniel Sandoval. These are 2 of the new school guys leading the charge in progressive BMX riding. Logan Martin, every rider in the world is targeting this guy. Let's see what we've got. Bar spin, backflip to tuck no-hander. Truck to downside whip. Wow, whip to bar. Looks like he wanted something in the middle of that. Pulled the handlebars up into his lap. Possibly wanted a no-hander in the middle of that. Couldn't get it. This is a 360 bar spin to downside tail whip. Leaving the door open for Daniel Sandoval.
Daniel Sandoval, also last few years, just been murdering it. Both of those guys, they don't have any easy tricks.
Sandoval, 360 down whip to bar spin. Truck driver to tail whip. Whoa, almost going off the side of the ramp, and then still firing out a tail whip to tuck no-hander. smile on his face. Check it out in replay. We call it a truck driver to downside tail whip, 3 tricks in 1. Logan knows what he needs to do, and here we go with Martin's second run. Bar spin, backflip to tuck no-hander. Flip whip, oh! Looping out again. Thankfully, he's okay, back up on his feet. Another look at what happens when the rider gets a little bit back-end heavy. This is called a backflip tail whip. He definitely wanted a no-hander there. Talk about BMX progression, looking to do a no-hander in the middle of that backflip tail whip. Leave the door open again for Daniel Sandoval. 360 downside tail whip. 360 tail whip to bar spin to tail whip. Keeps it rubber side down. Look at this one, tail whip 360 to late bar spin. And then this one, bar spin to tail whip. Video game tricks are a reality with these guys. Who's gonna advance? It is going to be Logan Martin. He will be advancing, your winner in quarterfinal number 3.
Well, against Daniel, I was sort of like, damn, I need to do something big. So I sort of tried what I was going to do later on in the rounds, in the second round, but it all worked out.
Don't go anywhere. Lots more action from the ASA Big Air Triples. Next up is the battle back round. One rider has a chance to fight all the way back to the top of that podium. Stick with us. Welcome back to Homestead Miami Speedway here in Florida for the ASA Big Air Triples. We are about to get into the battle back rounds, but first, we are talking to some of the riders about facial hair preferences.
You know, it's Movember. I really didn't want to grow a mustache, so I just wanted to let the beard go, see how far I could take it in a month.
He's going to full beard, but he told me he's gonna, it's just prep, and at the end he's just gonna.
I just don't ever like to clean shave it, man. I don't take a razor out and clean shave, so yeah, sure, then Movember, and then lazy.
Yeah, just the go-to for me now. Mustache doesn't grow in too much yet because I'm not old enough, so this is growing in all right.
While we have a second, let's go behind the scenes to meet GoBank rider Ryan Nyquist in this week's GoBank Profile.
Being a professional BMX rider is pretty cool. It's not a bad job to have. It's a lot of freedom. I've had a lot of really cool experiences from it, you know, like just with traveling and riding and contests and demos and all kinds of stuff. But it's, you know, it's still a job. You know, there's still responsibilities. I think people might look at my life and be like, oh man, like he probably just chills and goes ride and eats and goes ride. It's like, no, I mean, especially nowadays, it's like social media involved. Like everybody wants you to put stuff out there and create content and stuff. So in a lot of ways, I'm busier now than I ever have been. When I'm not riding, I'm usually with my kids. My sons are 5 and 2.5. So these are my 2 boys. This is a more recent photo. Jameson, Tristan, that's my wife, Allie. My oldest son loves to go on adventures now, and that basically means going out and just hiking and not really having a direction and just kind of getting lost. The youngest one, he's getting it. Like he's kind of the guy that I think is going to be more like the action sports kind of dude. Like he's got his little scooter and his little push bike, and he's just super into it. You know, like if we're out here riding, he sees us, he's grabbing his helmet and asking someone to put it on, and he wants to be right there alongside of us. So, you know, I think there's definitely some understanding that I ride bikes. I don't know if they know it's for a living or it's professional. I don't think they grasp that concept yet, but I think that they understand that their daddy loves bikes. Yeah, when I'm not riding, I'm just being a big little kid. When it comes to just life in general and all the things going on, whether it be competing, family life, or just training at home, it's a big juggling act. You know, it really is. You have to make sure that you have time for everything. So when it comes to traveling and competition, normally it's just me on the road. So like I don't have to worry about, you know, the training part of it or the family part of it, because that's back at home waiting for me. So when I'm competing, that's just my sole focus. When I'm home is when I kind of have to split my time between practicing or training and family time, and that's just, I mean, that just changes every week. You know, it's like some weeks I'll ride a lot, and other weeks I won't ride much at all. So I feel like I've done a pretty good job juggling it so far. But you know, as the kids get older and they start getting into different activities and you know, different contests pop up, it's just you got to make everything work and make sure you have time for everything.
Time for the battle back round. The battle back allows riders that were defeated early on the competition one chance to fight back into the quarterfinals. Battle back rounds are 1 run only, so it's make it or break it. Ryan Nyquist will be the first guy we get to see ride, him versus Colton Satterfield. One guy advances, one guy goes packing. Battle back round starts right now. Ryan Nyquist, first rider in the battle back, starting things off with a double bar spin backflip. 720, yeah, Ryan. Bar spin 540, oh, sliding out. Perfect run up until that point. Let's see what went wrong here. Bar spin 540, getting the bar spin. Landed a little bit sideways, sliding out. That's certainly gonna hurt Ryan. Colton Satterfield needs a perfect run here, and he will advance. Let's see what he's gonna bring. 360 double tail whip. No-handed flare, staying on the bike. That is gonna be good enough to advance. Colton Satterfield, TJ Ellis versus AJ Anaya. Helicopter out of Ellis, right into a double tail whip. Anaya, triple tail whip. Again, in the one-run format, if you crash, you are last. AJ Anaya going down with the ship, and unfortunately packing his bags. TJ Ellis will advance. Round number 3, Barbero, 360 triple whip. And then the local boy, Brian Fox.
Brian, this is your first pro contest and you're on home soil. What's it mean to have the support of your family and all the fans out here?
It means so much. You know, they were all so supportive, and I think they were really stoked that they had, you know, a Florida boy out here riding. So I'm really excited.
Battle back round 4, Satterfield versus Sandoval. Oh, Satterfield going down hard right there, puts his foot down. That's why those boys wear helmets. Sandoval stepping up to the challenge, 3 downside whip. Slow rotating tail whip. He could keep it easy because he knew that he was gonna advance. TJ Ellis versus Pat Casey in round number 5. Ellis, helicopter. Not keeping his feet on the pedals. That's gonna be rough. Casey gets a solid run under his belt. He will advance. 3 downside tail whip. Going tail whip. I think that's gonna be enough for Pat Casey to advance. And it is. Casey advancing. Battle back round number 5. And then round number 6, the local boy, Brian Fox versus Gutler. Fox, 720. Flare. Brian Fox throwing down a great run. The pressure's on Gutler, and he delivers with a double backflip right into a flare. That will certainly help Ryan Gutler advance in battle back round number 6.
Brian, after Brian Fox's run, you must have known he needed something big.
I knew I needed something big, but at the same time, I was like, do I let this guy who, this is his very first contest, come in and try and win the whole thing? I was like, so sorry, bro, I had to shut you down.
Well, double flip, amazingly executed. Good luck in the next round, Ryan.
Cheers, I'm having a great time. Cheers.
All right, battle back round number 7, Sandoval versus Pat Casey versus Ryan Gutler. 3-way head-to-head comp. Sandoval up first. 3 downside to bar spin. 360 tail whip to whip back. Great combos out of Daniel Sandoval. Check this one out, 360 tail whip to downside tail whip back. We call it a 360 windshield wiper. Man, look at the smile on Daniel's face. Pressure is on Pat Casey. All right, here comes Pat Casey. Bar spin backflip over the first set. Decade backflip over the second set. Oh my goodness, can he stay on the bike? He can. Pat Casey, incredible run. Wow. Decade backflip. Pat going upside down and around the bicycle. Gutler's not done yet. Backflip over the first set. Stretching to Superman. Gutler, he might see the writing on the wall here. Now it's all in the eyes of the judges. Pat Casey, Daniel Sandoval, Ryan Gutler, and it is Pat Casey advancing with the backflip decade.
That decade backflip, such a crazy trick. Explain what's going on while you're in the air.
It's exactly what it sounds like. You go up, you do a backflip and a decade at the same time pretty much, but I don't know, it's like sometimes I go off like the wrong way, so I'm happy I went off like straight back this time, I guess, so, and I landed it, so I'm stoked.
He is stoked for good reason. Another look at a decade backflip, traveling around the bicycle 360 while being completely upside down. Pat Casey going wild. Another guy getting wild all weekend, that guy right there, Travis Pastrana. He's been checking out the ASA Big Air Triples with his lovely wife, Lindsay, and their newborn baby. Don't go anywhere, lots more action coming to you from here in Homestead, Florida. Welcome back to the ASA Big Air Triples in Homestead Miami Speedway in Florida. All eyes have been on Travis Pastrana, a guy notoriously known for riding 2 wheels, but he's got 4 out here at NASCAR. We asked the riders, 2 or 4 wheels?
If Travis Pastrana offered me to trade my bike for his car and I could get a quick sale out of it, I would do it.
That's a bit crazy for me. I would jump in the passenger seat for sure, no doubt.
For sure, yeah.
Meh.
I'd take a lap to earn it. I mean, I can't tell you that it wouldn't be wrecked on the other side.
Travis is crazy, man. Like, he's a freaking legend in extreme sports, and I'll do it. I'll jump in a car with him. I'll put my seatbelt on for sure, but yeah.
We had a chance to catch up with action sports icon Travis Pastrana this weekend. As he took a little walk through the ASA Big Air Triples course, we wanted to get his opinion on what he thought of things.
You see, so what's interesting is these jumps don't look that big until you actually get here. And then you realize that a 6'2" tall person is not even close to the top. So they're going from a 10-foot tall takeoff to a 12-foot tall landing and doing double flips over sometimes. So here we go. Unless you're Nyquist, he just likes supercross airs. But I mean, he's old, so it's cool. What's up, guys? How's it going? He was just in my house like 2 weeks ago. We had a thing for nitros.
We had a good time.
Well, so yeah, it was, you know.
Raging.
It looked pretty poppy though. It looks better than any dirt jump I've ever seen. It's cool.
Yeah, dude, they're awesome.
Yeah, I'm not bad on the straight jumps, but motorcycles don't really hit quarter pipes. So if I got to coping on the quarter, that'd be a win for me. Without a doubt, there's a lot more consequence to this initially than jumping out of parachute or jumping out of plane without a parachute. Because there you have a minute to mess up. Here, if you mess this up, you're gonna crash right over there. Jumping out of a plane without a parachute, if you mess that up, you're gonna crash at the bottom, but you got a while. Way safer going 200 miles an hour over there, 3 wide, than it is, you know, going down this ramp, for sure. But they're both equally as fun.
Excuse me.
Oh, man, hey. Hey, Grandpa, I didn't know you were still riding.
Hey, what's up? Hey, I just want to say thank you for bringing the little NASCAR race out to be a sideline event for ours, you know?
Dude, anytime,
really
man,
cool,
we're here for you.
Set up on the side, just pretty sweet, man. Yeah.
Yes, it's not bad.
Yeah, you
know,
came out too for the...
I came out just, just for you guys, but I figured I'd, since I was here, I'm too broken now, and just, this looks like too much fun, so I'm gonna go over there and just be a little safer.
Well, if you really want to do something safe, you can hop on my pegs and we'll go down together. And I'm good for it. Like I'll make it through.
I believe that you'll make it through. I believe you also throw me off the back to make sure you make it through. Have fun out there.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll be watching.
Good luck out
and,
there.
yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
Remember, gas on the right, brake right next to it, clutch after that.
I'm just gonna worry about the gas. It's just the gas. Yeah. Gas steering wheel. It's simple.
Just start. How many gears do you have? 4th?
Turn left. All I got to do is go fast and turn left. This is so simple. I don't know what's been going wrong all year. NASCAR head-to-head would be awesome. I think this is a great format. I definitely, as a driver and a rider and an athlete, whatever they call us, dude, I always like a head-to-head because it's, it's that battling. That's what's so cool about, about racing, and that's what they've really brought to get the racing crowd to understand this freestyle stuff. So just super pumped. This is awesome. We finally, yeah! Nyquist not a supercross air on that one. That was sick. That was really good. So right now, I'm gonna head off and go race head-to-head with 42 other drivers and have some fun on the NASCAR track. So this has been awesome, and can't wait to come back and check it out.
The BMX riders stoked that Travis Pastrana came to check out some BMX riding, and then the tables got turned as the BMX riders got an up-close and personal view of Travis Pastrana's last NASCAR race from the pits, no less. Coming up, the semifinals, Zach Worden versus Nikolai Rogotkin and Pat Casey versus Logan Martin. ASA Big Air Triples coming up next. Welcome back to Homestead Miami Speedway for the ASA Big Air Triples contest. Our good friends from the Deadliest Catch came out to give out some Go Bank swag, give some hugs out, and meet some new friends. The stage is now set for the semifinals. Zach Worden versus Nikolai Rogotkin.
Yeah, it was tough. Me and Zach used to ride together at Woodward Camp all the time. He was really young. I was even younger, and I've just watched Zach destroy it at every X Games this year.
Here we go with Zach Worden. 360 bike flip over the first set. A little bobble there. Going double tail whip opposite. Following that up with a triple tail whip, and Zach Worden goes down. The pressure is on here in the semifinals. Let's see what went wrong. 1, 2, 3. The bike gets around 3 times and then he hung up. It's called hanging up your back wheel, and that's enough to knock him down.
Dude, I've been riding with Nikolai since he was 11 years old. He has such a bag of tricks that no one else can do, and the tricks that he does is they're mind-blowing, you know, the cash rolls and the quad whips. Like, he's so diverse, he can do it anywhere, and it's a true talent, and you're definitely going to be seeing a lot of that kid.
Rogotkin in, front flip, no-hander. There's that cash roll. What's he got on the quarter? 1, 2. Rogotkin going down, hanging up that back wheel again. That's so strange that both him and Zach hung up the back wheel. In addition to having the best athletes, we've got the best medical staff checking out Nikolai. Let's see what goes wrong here. Again, he hung up his back wheel. All it takes is a tiny little bit of that back wheel to touch that red coping. Watch his wheel, tags it. That's enough to send him to the ground.
We both took really bad slams, and he flattened his wheel, and I just hit my face real bad. I had to take a minute on the ground.
These guys are tough as nails. Nikolai Rogotkin shaking it off, going back to the top of the roll, and here comes Zach Warden, run number 2. 360 bike flip. Back flip, bike flip. Oh, not getting the bike underneath him that time. Thankfully, he is able to walk out of that one. One of the most dangerous tricks in BMX, back flip, bike flip. Didn't get the bike back underneath him, and he had to eject. I don't know how his glasses stay on. This is the finals, and these guys are pulling out the big tricks. Progression comes at a cost. Rogotkin, dead sailor, front flip over the first set. Going triple whip. Oh, missing his pedals. And he is not going to be able to complete the run. So Rogotkin throwing down. He has got some fans here. Let's see what went wrong. Triple tail whip, looking, oh, he just missed his pedal.
We just went by the tricks that we did on the jumps because we both messed it up on the quarter, and it was a really hard decision for the judges. We were both really nervous sitting up there. It was one judge voted for him, 2 voted for me.
And Nikolai Rogotkin advances the 17-year-old.
The judges told me after that it was the closest battle of the day for them, so it was quite a nerve-wracking moment for me, especially because that was the battle that decided that I was in the finals.
The kids here loving the ASA Big Air Triples, as everybody is. The next semifinal matchup is going to see Pat Casey versus Logan Martin.
Logan's crazy. You never know what he's going to pull out of the bag of tricks or whatever. Like, it's insane. So going against him, like, I just knew how to do what I was there to do, and that's about it.
Casey, big trick over the first set. Whoa, truck to double whip. Tail whip to bar spin. Great run for Pat Casey. Check this one out. Truck driver throwing the handlebars and then throwing the tail whip 2 times. Pat Casey on fire.
I knew Pat had some big tricks as well, so he went first, he set the bar. I knew I had to do something. I didn't do quite what I wanted, but I done something.
Backflip bar spin to tuck no-hander out of Martin over the first set. Oh, he wanted something else there. Another one, 2 hits that he did not get. You can see the frustration a little bit.
In the second one, I was trying to 360 bar spin down whip to bar spin out, and I stuffed that up. And then I stuffed up the trick on the quarter as well, so.
Logan Martin leaving the door open for Pat Casey. Pat knows what he needs to do. Can he do it? Here we go. Casey, 360 double whip to start things off. There's that decade backflip. And then whip to bar. Great run for Pat Casey. Putting some pressure on Logan Martin. Take another look at this. Decade backflip. Going upside down, spinning around the bike. And now Martin tries to answer. Backflip bar spin, no-hander. Martin not getting that extra trick in there that he wanted.
Logan ended up not doing like one trick in both runs, so I ended up beating him there as well, so pretty stoked with that.
Pat Casey advances to the finals, so it will be Pat Casey versus Nikolai Rogotkin in the final battle. Who will emerge victorious? Don't go anywhere. We're gonna find out next. The ASA Big Air Triples has been brought to you by GoBank, the award-winning new mobile bank account designed to be used on your mobile phone. By Paul Mitchell Professional Salon Products. Paul Mitchell, what's your style? By EB Hotel Miami, a brand new 4-star luxury property located 1 mile from the Miami International Airport. And by the 2014 Ford Fiesta, Follow the Fiesta Movement and join our agents by going to fiestamovement.com.
Oh, so close. And together for AJ and Nia. Rolling it tight. Looking for that double. He is down. Nikolai going down.
Cannot stress how important safety gear is. These guys go down hard, but safety gear allows them to get right back up. Now it's time for the finals. Nikolai Rogatkin versus Pat Casey.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, Nikolai's crazy. I've seen him do some of the most like insane stuff here today, so I have no idea. If he can hold it together, we'll see what happens, really.
Rogatkin starting things off, no-handed front flip. The cash roll, what's he got on the quarter? Triple tail whip. Phenomenal run for the 16-year-old. Nikolai Rogatkin still in high school, but he has certainly got physics figured out.
Yeah, I mean, against Casey, I saw Casey win so many events. I know he had some of the biggest tricks, and I know I had to throw all of mine too.
All right, Pat Casey bringing the heat. Backflip, bar spin to tuck no-hander. Truck driver to double tail whip. Going double whip, looked like he wanted an extra bar spin in there. Check this out, truck driver to double tail whip. Perfect from Pat Casey, and then he follows that up with a double tail whip air. Man, these judges are gonna be working hard with these two. Nikolai Rogatkin is focused. Toboggan front flip, never seen that one before. And then the quad tail whip. Wow, Nikolai Rogatkin knows that he has just made BMX history in Miami. Pat Casey knows it as well. Quad tail whip 4 times around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting those pedals, keeping it rubber side down. Here's another look at it. A quadruple tail whip. There's only been one other rider in the history of BMX that has done that trick. Nikolai Rogatkin rising to the occasion. And now Pat Casey needs to show out. Truck driver to tail whip. And then he's going with the decade backflip, losing it. Pat Casey going down. Very uncharacteristic of Pat Casey. He is okay. Man, that looked like it was a rough one. You've seen Nikolai Rogatkin, even though they're competitors, he is making sure that Pat Casey's okay. Wow, that was a rough one on the shoulder. Casey checking himself out. Tough as nails. So now it is in the hands of the judges.
Nikolai Rogatkin, he is your Big Airs champion.
Yeah, I don't know, just watching Nikolai do all his, I don't know, I'd say they're newer tricks, but he's just doing these new tricks that no one else can do and stuff, so it's pretty crazy, like, and he put it all together in one run, so it's cool. I'm stoked for him, and I don't know, I did my best, and that's about it.
Nikolai, you came out as the youngest competitor, came back to win the whole thing. How are you feeling?
I'm beyond stoked right now. Everything worked out for me. It took a big crash, but threw down all the tricks that I wanted, and I'm just in disbelief to come out here against all the guys that I looked up to and somehow pull out a win, so I'm stoked.
The youngest guy in the competition walks away with the biggest check. Nikolai Rogatkin, your 2013 ASA Big Air Triples champion. Hotel accommodations provided by DoubleTree by Hilton Miami Airport Convention Center. Located in the heart of Miami-Dade County, less than 3 miles from the Miami International Airport and in Miami's newest trade show center. Before we go, we want to give a very special thanks to the great partners that supported the event, including Sean McGee and the entire team at the Homestead Miami Speedway, Scott Craig and the clan from ISC, the DoubleTree by Hilton Miami Airport Convention Center, Travis Pastrana, NASCAR, and the EB Hotel Miami. For Fat Tony, my name's Catfish. We'll see you next time.